welcome in to another episode of Chiefs Focus Live. We have a full show, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to talk about how the Chiefs got flexed out of Monday Night Football, the Chiefs-Packers games, including our repeated segments, believe it or not, and score predictions, and just a couple more things. My name is Quentin Morris. We got Thiz running the show in the background. And now two guys who wish they could also get flexed out of their Monday jobs. It's JP and Caleb. What's going on, gentlemen?
Doing pretty good. How are you doing?
Busy as a bee, man. It's a busy kind of season.
That time of year. It's about to be December tomorrow.
I know.
Actually, technically in 3 hours and 57 minutes, it's about to be December. So about to be a busy time.
It's crazy to think about, man. This year has kind of flown by.
It has. It's ridiculous.
Once football season hits, I feel like it just shoots by.
Mm-hmm. It really does. Yeah. The first half of the year just drags, simply because there's no football. But after that, it's just crazy. And there was some craziness that went on in the NFL. Let's talk about
it. So Chiefs, the Patriots are so bad that ESPN was like, Patrick Mahomes, you're good. We're fine.
Like, we already know what's going to happen with this.
It's sad when a team is so bad that they flex out Mahomes, Kelce, and that defense. I mean, that tells you where they think the ratings are going to be regardless because the Pats are so bad.
Chiefs fans are going to watch it, but will anyone else? That's the thing. No.
It's insane. It irritates me just because we lost a primetime game. I mean, we had the most ever that we've ever had.
Right.
And I think the most in
it'll be the league. Second noon game of the year, right?
Yes.
The first one was
only
the
number 2.
Game.
Yeah.
So that game was originally going to take place Monday, December 18th. It is now being flexed out into the 17th, and it will be a noon game.
Gotcha.
It is the first game to be flexed out of Monday night, which will be a fun trivia question in about 15 years.
Yeah, exactly.
And the Eagles and Seahawks are being moved into Monday Night Football game, which will obviously be a better game than Chiefs.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it will be a better game.
I wonder how Belichick feels about that.
I'm sure he's happy because it'll be less people watching him get his
probably.
Ass kicked.
It's like, okay, we get to just deal with this just a little bit less. Okay, so.
Oh, it's terrible. No matter how you look at it. Well, it is what it is. You got to get over it and move on. Going into the injury report.
Yes, pretty good for Kansas City. So we've got Jerick McKinnon, who did not practice on Wednesday but was limited today, so that's good. I'm not expecting him to do much on – yes, we will talk about Zach Ertz in just a minute.
Yes, we will.
Jerick McKinnon, limited. I don't see him practicing a whole bunch. I know that playing a whole much. There was some talk from the coaches that it seems like they're going to hold him back another week or two. A guy that – probably don't really need him against the Packers, and you already have, your run game, and you're starting to find some more of your pass games, so it doesn't seem like you really need Jerick McKinnon. So if you need to hold him back, that's fine. The other guy that was limited in practice was Nick Bolton, which is good, obviously because he hasn't played in almost 2 months now.
Yep.
So he was limited on Wednesday, limited today. Still not expecting him to play anytime soon, but back on the field is always good. Nobody else was listed in the injury report that was limited or did not practice.
Okay. Correct. That sounds pretty favorable for the most part. I mean, it could always be worse.
Well, yeah, I mean, given the Packers have like 5 guys on that did not practice for both days, and some of them are
Packers about to be going through it.
Yeah, some of those guys are their starters, and it's skill position players, and that's not great.
Yep.
So
you need those guys to win.
So, yep. So it's going to be a rough ride. What's up, Jared? What's up, Will? Going to be a rough ride for the Packers for a while now. I mean, with all those injuries, and it sucks too because strangely enough, Jordan Love was actually playing a little bit better as the season wore on. He started to show a little.
I know my preseason take of the Packers winning that division is not going to happen, but my take of them making it to the playoffs is still alive. So
yeah,
I'm
that's
still
fair.
hoping that the Packers make.
Well, so are the Raiders, so it doesn't mean a whole lot. I mean,
Well, I don't care about the Raiders.
He's like, I don't care.
If the Packers
Move on.
could make the playoffs, that would make me feel pretty good. And you bet your ass I've been talking about it all of the offseason. So both of you should hope that.
I'm not gonna give you a hard time. It's gonna be JP. I'm just gonna be the guy in the middle, like, okay, well,
Yeah.
I guess. But I'll throw
look-
my jabs in when I need to. Don't worry.
that's good stuff.
Let's talk about Zach Ertz for just a minute.
Yeah.
He got released from the Cardinals,
Mhm.
and it's
That was a
because
mutual
he was-
parting, by the way.
Yeah, he was injured, and then he's back healthy now, and the Cardinals aren't playing him. They seem to have found their guy for the future. They have
Right.
a rookie there that's been playing, and has been playing really good. If anybody
Mhm.
picked him up on their fantasy football team, they know what I'm
I
talking
wish
about.
I did.
So Zach Ertz got cut, mutual parting. He says, and he said this himself, he wants to go play for a contender. I see it going. He goes back to Philadelphia.
You think
Well,
so?
Well, there are two choices. I think it's Philadelphia or Baltimore.
Hmm.
It's Philadelphia because even though he hasn't played in that offense, that's where he was drafted. The fan base loves him, and Philadelphia could use a tight end in their system. They don't really have that guy. And then Baltimore because Mark Andrews has a season-ending back injury, and that offense runs through the run game and the tight end. And so I think the system fit for Baltimore is definitely there, and I could totally see him going back to Baltimore. And obviously,
And honestly,
both of
the
those
money's
two teams
actually
are
there,
contenders.
too.
So I think that those are the places he goes. I'm leaning more Baltimore, but I don't think that we can leave out Philadelphia just because that's where he won his first Super Bowl.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is true.
Well, the whole thing
So-
is Baltimore has more money. I mean, yeah, Baltimore has more money right now. So,
This is probably his last season wherever he's at. And yeah, Phil has a good point. Phil, the Eagles take everyone. They have that money. For some reason, they do. So,
yeah.
I mean, I would
Well,
like
they
to
got
see
$2
him
million
go.
left now, so I don't know if Zach Ertz is going to play for.
I mean, it's a
pennies.
I mean,
thing
at
is
this
how
point,
much-
you're not
yeah.
you're not going somewhere. You're not asking to be cut in basically December to go and get a big payday.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
this is a veteran minimum. Maybe it's a incentive-based deal, to try and get a few more $1 million. That's why I really do think it's Baltimore. I
Yep.
don't see him coming to Kansas City, to be quite honest with you. I was having a conversation earlier today with someone. I think that whatever you think Zach Ertz can bring to this table, Noah Gray already has.
Exactly.
So
And he's a lot
Zach Ertz
younger and a
doesn't-
lot less injury prone.
Zach Ertz doesn't bring anything to Kansas City that we don't already have in the tight end room. And is he really going to come to a place where he's not, making the field?
Mhm.
Because he would be the third tight end. So that just doesn't make sense to me. It's
Yeah.
really why I think Baltimore is a great fit.
They're actually the perfect fit, given the fact that they lost their tight end.
It's
And they
pretty
love
good
throwing the
timing.
ball sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, Philadelphia hasn't lost their tight end, so it's. I think that would probably be the team he ends up with. But yeah, I mean, this is right. Philly does take everybody. They brought Frank Reich back, made up a position for him. I don't even know what the hell it is, but they made up some position for him just to be there. So, but they have about $2 million left in their cap space, and I think Baltimore has around $4.5 million, or did.
Mhm.
So
I think 850,000 is veteran minimum. So
Yeah, 750,000, 850. Yeah, one of those two. So he could
something
just
like
really
that. So
take
pretty much
that.
any team can sign him.
yeah,
Even
just
if
don't
he's good,
expect
if
it to
they
be
wanted
Kansas City.
I don't
Yeah, I don't
expect
think
it
it's
to be
gonna
Kansas
be.
City. I really, if I were a betting man and lived in the state of Kansas, I would I'd put that down on Baltimore.
Yeah, that's how I feel. I think Baltimore's going to take the Zach Ertz lottery right there.
Mhm.
What's next?
Chiefs tackles. I want to talk about why I think that for this game specifically, I think that what we see from the tackles is important. I don't think Donovan Smith comes back, and I think Wanye Morris can be that guy moving forward.
Whew.
I know we only saw just one series of snaps from Wanye Morris, but I do think that the Chiefs might have found their guy. And man, do you know how convenient it would be if the Chiefs found their left tackle of the future? That would take a lot of stress off this team moving forward, because I know I know everybody wants to go wide receiver in the draft, but I think that it still might be a better option to go left tackle in the first round.
Come on, man.
Even though
we
I
need some
know
offensive firepower. We put too much in offensive line.
I know, but
there's a reason why we're having problems.
And if Wanya Morris is that guy, then this whole conversation means nothing. I understand.
But you got to have depth.
You thought Lucas Niang was the guy, and he hasn't really been on the field.
But I really do think that Kansas City needs to see, obviously Donovan Smith is not the future answer here, right? There's a reason he was signed to a one-year deal, and we knew what you were getting into with him, that this was sort of a one-year rental. Let's see, move on. But
he's doing a pretty good job, though.
He's fine. I mean, there's a lot of teams out there that would like to have a Donovan Smith on their team.
Oh, yeah, easily.
Cincinnati be one of them.
Yeah. But I just want to put I want to put that out into the ether. Just let it sit there like a good stew. Just let it boil for a little bit. Put some feelers out there. That Kansas City, yeah, Kansas City might have found their guy in Wanya Morris, and it would be so convenient. It would be so convenient if they found their left tackle later in the draft, and they were just letting him sit there and stew for a year, sort of like a true redshirt freshman.
Basically, yeah.
Did you happen to see that pancake he put on in the red zone for when Pacheco ran that 1-yard touchdown from like 3rd and 1? That dude was leveled. I mean, he sprung out like I don't know what, and it was just I don't know how that dude got back up. But that was the reason why Pacheco was able to walk into the end zone the way he did. Wanya plays hard. And he's very quick off the ball, and he understands the snaps. He understands the snap count. I do like that kid. So, yeah, I mean, Donovan Smith was brought here for 1 year. Wasn't a big contract. He's been serviceable. He hasn't been horrible. I mean, Patrick Mahomes is one of the least sacked quarterbacks in the league. Really one of the least pressured quarterbacks in the league. So, he's not a bad, he's done a good job for what we needed him for. But I agree. I agree that Wanya could be that future, but you still have to have depth. So you're going to have to pick up somebody else in the draft. And it doesn't matter really where, as long as they're a good, player that you can work with and cultivate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's another. Found left tackle the future in the 3rd round. I mean, that would be one of Veach's best picks of all time.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, they could have got that guy from the Browns who's been dominating, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess we could play potato, but I just feel like we need some receiver help. We have to get something. We have to get a decent pick there. We can't be throwing him at like a 3rd, 4th, 5th round guy. They're not really doing anything. I just feel like at this point we got to figure out something. Otherwise, we're gonna have the same process over and over and over again, and people are gonna be irritated, rightfully so. So, I don't know.
I know it takes time for these receivers to pick up Andy Reid's system, but in the same aspect, again, I put some of this on coaching because you don't have the right guys in the right spot. You can't expect them to do much.
I agree.
During that Raiders game, the 2 players that I've been trying to figure out why the hell they weren't on the field and getting more snaps was Rashee Rice and, of course, Noah Gray. And both of those guys got significant snaps. Noah Gray played very well. Rashee Rice played very well. 5 touchdowns, 540 yards on the season. Yep. He's 2 touchdowns away from breaking the touchdown record for a rookie in Andy Reid's system. And if he gets a couple 100-yard games and a couple 75-yard games, he's gonna surpass Juju's numbers from last year.
Okay.
So I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to complain about that. They just need to realize that, okay, we found what works, so let's use that. Because that actually opened up the field for Kelsey. Did you notice?
Yeah, it does make things easier. It makes things a lot more easier than what they were previously. That's what
wasn't triple teamed as much. That was for sure. So
good point.
Tells you everything. You got to have fear in somebody else if you want your star tight end.
And that's my whole argument. Since doing this podcast is like you have these guys that can play. if you're bringing these extra guys in, it's gonna fear people, and if people are feared, then they're gonna be stressing out trying to figure out what can we do to stop them. That's my argument's like we get an OBJ. It's only gonna open up the field for everyone. We can get I don't know. There's a lot of different skills, but if you get more people that can help open the field, it's only gonna make things better.
Yeah.
So that's why I always was arguing for. I was like, we could really use the help. It's only gonna make things better. So
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just my take on it.
Well, I think they looked, other than those first two series, where it just looked like they had 0 yards, which they did have 0 yards. With Mahomes' little let me play my freaking game type of thing.
Yeah.
And after that, they put the right guys on the field.
Well, you have to let him play his game, because if you don't let him play his game, it's just going to be one of those irritating performances. Yeah. And this team controls their destiny. So a lot can happen and a lot can change. But those guys have to step in. I think people don't realize, those drops by Rashee Rice are kind of critical at times. Not to bash the guy, but they've been a little critical as of late. So,
well, he is a rookie.
But I can't fault him because he's a rookie, but he has shown him playing, and he's been doing really well. So I think over time it could get better. Because Tyreek Hill was dropping balls too to help us win the Super Bowl. So,
you know who else dropped a lot of balls and is one of the top 5 wide receivers in the league? He did it for 2 seasons. Devontae Adams. Go back and look at his rookie season.
Oh, Devontae.
He dropped everything that was thrown to him.
Yeah. It took some time. It
did. Sure. But he was still a dominant player, and when he made those catches, they were great. I think Rashee Rice has every opportunity to be a number 1 wide receiver in this league.
Okay.
He really does. He's big. He's dominant. He's quick.
Being the key word.
Yeah, exactly. with the opportunity.
That's fair. That's fair.
Hypothetical. Rice is a viable number 2, in my opinion. He can develop into a 1, correct? Theoretically, not next season. It might be next season. You never know, but we will have to see. My hypothetical here, and not really. I've kind of heard it too. I think Veach has got a bug in his ear about bringing in a veteran wide receiver next year.
Who can they bring?
There's going to be a lot of guys sitting.
There's a lot of guys now.
A lot of guys getting
resigned, but this is going to be a heavy. Guys like T. Higgins, Mike Evans. Yeah. I think Keenan Allen's a free agent.
We're really bringing Keenan Allen.
Some of these guys are going to get re-signed, but the more guys that are in free agency, the cheaper that some of these other guys are going to get. So I know that, 3 years ago, maybe a lot of people wouldn't have seen the Chiefs being able to sign Juju Smith-Schuster. They would have seen the they would have seen the Steelers or some other team re-signing him. So sometimes some of these guys will slip through the cracks, and you end up with a guy. And that's all you need is just one, right? So, I'm not banging the drum for the Chiefs to sign, Mike Evans at the end of the year. But there is a chance that Kansas City, one of these guys slides through the cracks and you end up getting a wide receiver. Plus, you got to remember, there's going to be some open cap space at the end of the year.
Yes,
Kansas City is going to cut MVS. Chris Jones, we don't know what's happening with that. There's some other contracts that you can move around if you need to make even more money. So Kansas City's going to have a busy offseason in terms of, because they're going to have, $40 million open up at least just with Chris Jones and MVS alone. So there's going to be some money available, and there's some big name free agents that are coming up. So we'll see what happens. But, we're in Kansas City. We don't have to talk about the offseason in December because our team actually matters in December. So let's talk about this Chiefs-Packers game.
That's going to be a fun game.
Yes. Yeah.
The Packers defense is a little underrated. The Packers defense have allowed less passing touchdowns this year than Kansas City has.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
we also have to look at strength of schedule.
They're very young. Okay. They have some decent pass rush. And their corners, which have been injured this year, they have a good pair. So I know that they've sort of been a punching bag, especially through the middle of the year, where they fell off a cliff and Jordan Love did not look like a viable starting quarterback. But this Packers team, and it goes back further than just the Thanksgiving game, where I know everybody was watching because nobody wants to hang out with their family.
Yeah.
The Packers are a viable football team. Let's not, stray that this is all just going to be a walk in the park. Okay, the Packers have some talent on that team, and I do think a lot of it starts with their defense. Their young defense.
Well, here you go. Nixon, defensive back, he's okay, full practice. But then we get into the CBs. Rochelle hasn't limited practice, did not practice today. Eric Stokes, hamstring, limited practice. They've got some injuries on this team. There's a lot of did not practice at all and limited practice guys. Aaron Jones, knee. Don't think he's playing.
Yeah, he's probably going to be
He hasn't
out.
been playing
Yeah,
in a
he's going to be
while.
out.
Yeah.
Well, he did play and then got hurt again.
Yeah, he did. He played for a little bit and then got injured quick. Jaden Reed, the wide receiver, chest issue, did not practice.
He's pretty good, not going to lie. He's
Christian
dominant.
They got a
Watson is
lot
the guy
of
we got to
players
look
that
out
have hurt
for.
him.
Yes,
Who?
I agree with you there, Quentin Watson.
Yeah. Well, he's not on the injury list, so
No, but exactly. He's their number one wide receiver.
yeah, he is. But I'll say it again. They have yet to face our defense. So that plays a huge part. When you're playing, you're right. They got hot early and lost their fire towards the Lions. The Lions kind of lost some of their little swagger too there on and off. But
yeah, that's true.
I'll say this about that Packers-Lions game. Packers were very, very aggressive, and it worked out for them.
Yep.
I imagine they're going to be very aggressive against the Chiefs because you won 29-22 against the Lions in prime time by being aggressive, by taking some of those extra, I think they went for 3 fourth down attempts. 2 or 3. That game was full of fourth down attempts, so I can't remember who did what, but I know the Packers were extremely aggressive, and they tried to, at least on a couple of fourth downs, they kept the offense out there to see what the defense was going to do. This is going to be one of those games where if it's 4th and 2 on the 40-yard line, keep the defense out there because they're not punting. When they're in no man's land, they're going to try and get that first down because they know they're going to need points. So
and that's what
this might be a very frustrating game to watch the Chiefs fan, just because you might give up an extra, fourth down that normally you would see a punt.
And not to interrupt you, Quentin, but as we've seen these teams play the Chiefs, we're going to get their best performance. So best believe they are going to try to do plays on fourth down. You may see a fake punt. You may see a fake field goal. They're going to be chasing points. It's going to be like another Braden Staley game, I feel like, where they're going to be just chasing stuff, trying to find things. So it's going to be difficult for sure.
And Jordan Love really wants to prove himself, so that's a huge thing. He said
Last time is this at the Packers?
Yeah, it's in Lambeau.
Yes.
Okay.
It's in Lambeau.
Yeah, 8 years from now, I will be going to Lambeau Field to watch the Chiefs and Packers play.
There we go. That's
so whoever wants to join me, 8 years from now,
I'll come.
Sign it up.
You come. We need to do it 8 years from now, so 2031.
If I'm alive, I'll be there.
You'll be there.
Defense needs to understand that most teams are going to play us like the Lions and the Broncos did, and I absolutely agree with that. The Raiders tried it at the beginning; it just didn't work out. But we got to keep the pressure on. I mean, that's the one thing. Jordan Love, I've noticed with him, he's somewhat elusive, but then he also doesn't read the blitz very well yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I think with the way we blitz, especially our corner blitzes, that can mess him up. I mean, I think it could really jack him up. If you get him off kilter, you're okay. But it takes getting him off kilter. So, and he's right now he's living large right now. He's living high on the hog. So he's feeling really good about himself. He just beat the Lions. So it's that, and the Lions beat us by a point. So in his mind, regardless if that was the first game of the season or if it's the 13th game of the season,
it's like I got a chance.
So he said, just watch out for them attack over the middle with Dobbs and Wicks.
Dobbs is good as well.
In practice. A.J. Dillon might be the problem in the run game. Yeah, I agree. A.J. Dillon, he's pretty damn good. Now I really don't know if how well I mean, look, I wasn't really pleased with how we did against the run game in the beginning of that game. Now we stopped it, for the most part afterwards. After that big run, it was kind of over with, but I wasn't really happy with that 62-yard touchdown run.
Mhm.
That kind of, made me sick a little nauseated, but I think they probably learned from it. Spags had a pretty
easily.
good point. Yeah, he had a pretty good
It
point.
takes time to adjust,
It does.
and that's what they did.
They did. And Spags said the same thing. He said, look, my message to the guys were, look, when you're down or if you make a mistake, you rally back from that. And these guys, they're good enough and they're smart enough to know how to come together and rally back from that. And that's what they did. So there's no downing this Chiefs defense. They're still ranked 2 in the league. So number 2 in the league. So I'm not going to complain about what they're doing. And we haven't had a number 2 defense
since I've been around. JP, it's been a
about the
long
90s.
time.
Yeah, you're talking about 1990 to 93.
Exactly.
It was the last time we had. I know.
I know. I just bring that up to make you feel old.
Well, you got a beard like you
lower
were.
back pain and knee pain
Quentin, we
wasn't
weren't even
enough.
thought of.
Yeah, you weren't even semen yet. But that beard of yours
We weren't even thought of.
looks like it's been around since '93. But I mean, it just kind of is what it is.
Yeah, I know. Been putting some beard oil in it. It's nice and soft now.
I'm seeing some gray.
That's the light.
He said it's the light. He's blaming the light.
He said it's the light. Oh, it's the light. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
But yeah, man. I mean, it's going to be a fun game. It's going to be interesting to see how they go against another NFC team that is somewhat on the ropes and in that middle of the pack type of team that's hungry. We got to see if we can step up and if they can continue to do what they've been doing. The one thing that I noticed, and I said this on the Tuesday show, and this is what I've been fearful of all season long, is this defense being gassed, and they came out flat in that game, and that's not from the week before. That's from the 11 games before, 10 games before.
Over the rest of the season, Kansas City is going to have the under on the rest days compared to their opponent. Every single week moving forward, they will be on less rest than their opponent.
Yep. And that's hard. It's hard to deal with. Yeah, it's hard to deal with when you're, when you've been on the field 3/4 of the time for the season. That's hard to deal with. The one thing, somebody brought up something about Travis Kelce, and we got to bring this up really quick because it's kind of stupid. First of all, Machine Gun Kelly's an idiot. He offered
what drama
Travis
happened
Kelce,
this time?
Oh, this dumb son of a bitch. He offered Travis Kelce $500,000 cash and breakfast and coffee every morning if he went to the Browns.
Yeah.
It's not happening.
A joke, man.
I know. Just stupidity. But I guarantee you.
It's that gift. At least you tried.
Yeah.
At least he tried. I mean, he went to Megan and he said, Megan, can I please borrow $500,000 because I really want to get Kelce on this team and maybe it'll work out. I don't know.
That'll never happen.
And maybe you can get your personal chef because I really don't have one, but maybe you can get your personal chef to kind of bring some food to him every day and some good coffee. Kelce's not leaving Kansas City, but it was kind of comical to see. But the question's been brought up: is he going to retire this year? I've heard this 6 times because he made mention of his.
If they win, I think there's a chance. If they win, I see Quinn banged his can on his keyboard. I'm sorry, but if they win, I think there's a chance.
If he gets to the Super Bowl,
honestly, I do too.
Chance.
Especially if it's the Eagles Chiefs again, and his brother decides that this is it. Mm-hmm. I think they could. I think the Kelce's could retire the same year.
Well, here's the thing. This is it no matter what for Jason. He is done. There's no 2 ways. Whether he wins or loses or gets to the Super Bowl, he is not coming back next year. You can mark it, write it down, take a picture. He's done. I don't know that Kelce's he had a goal in mind. His goal was to play until he was 37. He's feeling it right now. I have a feeling even if he got another ring, he has that crazy competitive thing in him that maybe he wants one more because he's chasing Gronk. He's chasing Gronk's
3
numbers. Gronk has 4.
4 Super Bowls?
So,
okay.
Yeah, you had 3 with the Patriots and 1 with the Bucks. So,
yeah.
Buccaneers never won a Super Bowl.
Tom
What?
Brady won the Super Bowl.
No,
Tom Brady
No,
and his
didn't.
mercenaries.
they didn't win. I think an old Raiders coach went and won them one in the early 2000s, but that's it. They've never played another Super Bowl.
He's like, that's erased from my
I don't-
memory, just like in
no,
Star
I
Wars.
don't
This
think that
never
happened.
exists in the Jedi archives. It's never been there.
Yeah. Well, he wants the touchdown record for Kansas City, which I don't know if he'll get that because I think Tony Gonzalez had 100. What did he have? He had 110 total in his career. I don't know how many of those were with Atlanta. I can't remember now. But Gronk has 95, and I think Gronk has 95, and Kelsey has 74 right now, if I'm not mistaken.
Mhm.
So 2 more years, he could probably, if he played well enough, and they put him in the right positions, he could probably break that touchdown record.
But again, they need a backup. They need a
They
suitable backup. Brock Bowers, if you are there, I'm manifesting
Oh,
the air.
man.
Please come to Kansas City, please.
You know he
What's
wants
happening? Probably
to.
not.
You know he
Everybody
wants
wants to
to.
come to Kansas City.
Yeah,
Well,
but he modeled
he's
his
good.
whole life after Travis Kelce.
Well,
I hope not.
that's
his whole
on
life.
Beach if they get it done.
Yeah, he modeled everything. And then look, man, if Veach pulls, I don't know, somebody punches
But
him in the
then
head and
again,
he has
if
a
you-
concussion during the draft, and he says, "Okay, I'll jump up 27 spots to get him," I'm not going to really
They
complain.
don't have enough capital.
They're
to
not
do
gonna
that. They
do
only
that.
have 5
They don't.
picks.
You only have
This
5?
year they got no.
Look it up.
They
They
got more
don't
than-
have. They don't have all 7.
What happened?
How did they
They've
lose 2
done
picks?
some of those late end swap picks, and this is the year where they're paying for it.
Yeah, but they got a couple of conditionals for him.
You can go to look it up right now. They
Well, I
Well,
don't
that may
believe
be
you,
right
but-
now, but I think at the end of the season they'll have a couple more picks because those conditionals will work out. They don't put those conditionals in until the end of the
I know,
season.
but right now they don't have a full slate of picks.
Maybe
well,
you're
if
right,
they've only
Quinn.
got
I
5
know.
picks.
I mean,
Who
I know
knows?
I'm right.
Let me just okay. Well, haha, the very knowledge. See, this is what we do every week, folks.
Yeah,
All
it's
the people
fun.
we have in here, Philip,
They have
everyone
a
else,
first,
Will,
a
Jared,
second,
yes,
a
this we do
third,
every
a
week.
fifth, and 2 sixths.
Third or fifth.
First, a second,
First,
a
a
third.
second,
A 1,
fifth,
they have a
and
1, a
2
2,
sixths.
a 3, a
That's
5, a 6, and a 6.
Okay,
I
that's
guess
6.
it's time to trade someone for some picks.
That's
Who's
6.
it going to be?
Yeah, they don't have a 4th or a 7th.
I understand, but
You
they
know
got a
Veach loves
conditional
his picks,
7th
JP.
right now.
They
And they got
don't
a
have
conditional
7th round
6th
pick.
right now.
Mm.
No, they have a conditional one, and they have a conditional 6 that it's probably not showing up right now, but they do have those conditionals.
Mm. I don't know. That's all I'm going to say. It's going to be interesting.
This will be the first year since 2019 that they haven't had over 9 picks.
Maybe he has a trade up his sleeve.
Maybe, but once again, these are conversations we can have after the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, regardless, it would be nice to see a Brock Bowers come here. I mean, look,
so luxury
stranger
we
things have
cannot
happened.
afford.
Here's what you've got to look at. This is something that, I know everybody thinks he's going to go number 3 overall and all that shit. There's a ton of wide receivers. This is a very strong wide receiver class.
Mhm.
There's 4 quarterbacks only that are going to go fairly quick. Maybe 3 that are going to go fairly quick. I have a feeling it's going to be another Dalton Kincaid situation to where he drops out of the top 5, top 10. Just saying. The only team that's going to dive on him if they have the opportunity, and they will because they're going to cave the rest of the season, is Cincinnati.
Hmm.
Because they want to be us. And they know he's the closest thing to Travis Kelce that they're ever going to find.
Yeah.
So that's something everybody has to
Well,
think about.
I guess we'll just have to see what happens. But I think
Yeah.
it's a perfect time for Quentin's favorite segment that he invented himself. Trademark. Capitalize. You ready, Quentin?
Trademark pending. All right, guys, you know what time it is. It's time for a little Believe It or Not, a segment where I give you some scenarios and you tell me whether you believe it or not. So the first one I want to start out with, I thought about this one for a while. And last week we saw Sky
30
Moore. While
seconds.
he got on the field quite a bit, he didn't get a ton of options. But I'm thinking, you know what? We'll see. Maybe he gets a little bit more opportunities this week. So believe it or not, Sky Moore goes over 35 yards.
No,
No,
No, I'm
immediately
sorry.
was like
No,
immediately like
It's
no.
a no for me, dog. Randy Jackson in
No.
2000s. Who knows what I'm talking about? It's a no for me.
Yeah.
Disney was like,
No.
nope.
No.
I
no.
just don't see it, and I'm not trying to be
I
a
don't
hater.
either.
I just don't see it.
I'm not either. The only way he's going to go over for over 35 yards is if he has one catch for over 35 yards. That's really what's going to have to
Dang,
happen.
JP.
I'm sorry. I'm not kidding you. I mean, I'm out on Sky Moore right now. I'm completely out on Sky Moore right
Here's
now.
what I'm thinking. I think that with Rashee Rice is going to get more attention than he has at every point up to this point of the year, and Travis Kelce's Travis Kelce. So I think that Sky Moore is going to have a couple more opportunities. Just whether it's more direct to him like they did with the bubble screen.
Mm-hmm.
I also think that if they put him in the slot where he was, where he's supposed to be used, and Rice being used on the outside, I think he is going to have the opportunities. I think Sky Moore can go like 4 for 45, 4 for 50.
I wonder who said that Rashee Rice should be on the outside. I don't know why the hell they're playing him in the slot.
I don't know. It must have been just some little birdie in a tree somewhere.
Just some guy. I don't know who he was.
Crazy
some
hermit.
wackadoo out in the
some crazy ass old guy in Vegas. I don't know, man. Some crazy ass old guy in Vegas.
That's what I think. I think that Sky Moore, look, I'm not asking for anything crazy or see anything crazy happening. I just think that because Rice has stepped up, right, he's going to get a little more attention. The linebacking core for the Packers isn't great. So if you put a guy like, Sky Moore out in the slot, I think he can go like 4 for 40.
Okay. Well, I hope
I'll give you a prediction for Sky Moore.
Yeah.
4 yards, 1 touchdown.
Okay. Okay. All right. 4 yards, 1 touchdown. There we go. That's all that's going to do. Enough people happy. 4 yards and 1 touchdown.
What was that last year when Travis Kelce had
he had 4 for 25 yards and 4
touchdowns. And 4 touchdowns? Yeah.
Yep.
That was good times. That was great. Mm-hmm. I mean, he just chalked up on his touchdown record or touchdown tally right there on 25 yards. That was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, what's your next one?
All right. I want to keep this one simple. I just wanted to say Chiefs sack total over 3.
Let's see.
With
that offensive line, yeah, I could see it being over 3 this week because they struggled last week with the sacks, and I think they're going to get him back this week. Karlaftis is a beast. Jones is going to get one. I think it's going to be over 3.
I just feel this could be the game where Jordan Love just tries to do with his legs.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to say no. I'm sorry. And maybe I'm the negative Nally today, but I just feel like this is the day he's going to try to do it with his legs.
I am very interested in how they continue to use Trent McDuffie in those corner blitzes.
Yes.
Because he is objectively your best corner, right? Mm-hmm. He is your best coverage corner, and you're using him in those corner blitzes. And honestly, it's working, and it fascinates me. Yes. Because you shouldn't use your best corner that way. Just like it shouldn't work. But it does, and it fascinates
me. We did it with Snead.
I know,
do you remember we used to do it with Snead, and it worked.
I know, but Snead wasn't like a dominant man-to-man coverage corner like McDuffie is.
I think what they're doing.
Trent McDuffie is objectively the best corner, the best man coverage corner on the team. When Snead was doing all of those corner blitzes, he was not the best man coverage corner on the team. Mm-hmm. You could go, maybe he's, let's see, compared to him, whatever. There was an argument, there was a discussion there. Nobody can have the discussion that Trent McDuffie is not the best man coverage corner on the team, and yet you're using him to do something else. And usually I would hammer and fist, and I would say, no, that's stupid. Stop doing something that he is not the best at. Use him for the thing that he is the best at. Let's move forward. And they're not doing it like that, and it's working, and it just blows my mind.
They're bringing safeties in to the they're
rechanging the defensive game.
They are. They're moving the scheme around to where your safeties are playing not so much the middle of the field, but halfway between the middle and the hash mark, and they're able to. And McDuffie's so fucking fast that he's able to get back there quick enough, and those safeties are able to cover the wide receivers. And I think that's why they're getting away with it so well, because he's so quick.
Yeah.
So
it's one of those things where I don't know. I don't think another team could do it. I think this is something unique to Kansas City because of the backfield that they have.
And
That
plus,
this is only something that Kansas City can do.
And plus, there's a chance we could have guys like Bo Pete Keys and another guy come back from injury. I mean, this quarterback room is deep. I mean, there's a reason why we're able to do the things that we're able to do on a weekly basis due to what we have. So it's just fascinating.
It's pretty insane to think that last year everybody wanted Spags' head. The year before, everybody wanted Spags fired. Everybody wanted Spags fired.
For fanatic.
I know. But I think there was a couple guys on the show that
though.
said Spag wanted him to go, but
I stand by my statement. I mean, you can call him, just say my name. I mean, I stood by the statement still to this day. I mean, honest with you. Same thing with Benny. I didn't like any of our coordinators.
I didn't either. But you know what changed it though,
You
Caleb?
were
I
on
think
the bandwagon the entire time. What you mean?
No, I wasn't on the bandwagon to fire him. I thought that he was making mistakes in the first half of the season, which always tend to happen with every defense he's ever coached. But I'm telling you now, man, what changed this defense is one guy to help Spags, and that is Joe Cullen. He changed this defense for the better all the way around because he's not just a defensive line coach. He's a linebackers coach too. He knows how to coach everybody on a defense because he's been a defensive coordinator. He knows what he's doing. And when you're able to get in the middle of it instead of being the guy on the outside that has to rely on people on the inside, now you got a guy that is outside worthy on the inside. And that's just a huge help for everybody. He's teaching the other coaching staff. It's a huge
And he's been around for a while.
Yeah, it's just a huge upgrade. It really is. And God, for Christ's sake, we had friggin' no offense to Andy Reid, but we had his son in there doing shit. Sorry, but he wasn't. I don't know what he was doing. Regardless, had him and Sam Madison out there. Remember Sam Madison?
Oh yeah, I remember that day.
Yeah,
those were some interesting times.
Anyway, regardless, the defense is playing lights out. He's cracking up. I remember the day they told me they were firing him, and I was like, hell yeah, I'm putting that on the show. No, I'm putting it on the show. I said, no, I'm putting it on the show. And we said it on the show. He's done. He's done. He's not coming back next year. I was so happy. Oh, God. But anyway, it's interesting. What's your next one?
Final one, Pacheco, 2 touchdowns from scrimmage.
Caleb, did you answer that one?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I didn't think they were going to get it. Don't worry. I made sure to answer.
Okay. All right. I just want to make sure because we got on off a tangent like we always do. This is, the old heights. We're not the new heights. We're the old heights.
It's the beauty of the believe it or not. Pacheco, 2 touchdowns from scrimmage. Yes or no?
Passing or rushing or both?
That's from scrimmage. So, yes.
I'm about to say no. They're going to key on him. I think this is where we see Rashee Rice do his thing.
I think he's going to get it close to the end zone. I think he's going to be that. I think he's going to be that red zone threat that we've been missing a little bit. I feel like he can get to. Okay. I feel like this is going to be a high-scoring game for the Chiefs. They're coming off a high right now, and they know what they can do. But that's just me.
Okay, so I also think Pacheco is going to get 2 touchdowns from scrimmage. I do think the reason I put from scrimmage is because I do think it's going to be 1 passing, 1 rushing. I think that he's going to be used in some of those McKinnon roles, right?
Yes.
This was about the time, it started a few weeks earlier last year with McKinnon, but I think Pacheco has started to really become part of this offense for a couple of reasons. One, Andy Reid and the offense have just opened their eyes and realized that they can use him in the passing game.
Yes.
2, Pacheco has significantly improved his pass blocking skills, so he's dependable on 3rd downs. And 3, with McKinnon out, you got to turn to some of your other guys, and that just means with the fact that you don't have that many running backs on your offense, Pacheco has to take up some more of those roles. So It's sort of just a storm for me, and I think that we're never going to see this offense go completely to running the ball in the red zone. But you can still use your running back in the passing game. Pacheco gets 2 touchdowns from scrimmage.
Okay. Well,
Philip
I
has
hope he
Pacheco
does.
24 touches, 115 yards, and a rushing touchdown on Sunday.
Damn. I hope.
I would love to see that. I would love to see it. I mean, I'm not going to doubt the kid because everything he's doing has just been phenomenal. He gets one breakout run, and it's going to be
he gone. He running through the. He running
Yeah.
through the.
The only
store.
thing
We need
he
him on
needs to
Black
do,
Friday.
he
Push
needs to
people
get
out
better
there.
at his cutbacks. But other than that, yeah, Pacheco's a hell of a football player. All right, that's your believe it or not.
That's it.
Score prediction.
All right, now what we
time.
got? Score predictions, huh?
Yes, sir.
I've
right.
got 17-27 Chiefs.
17-27 Chiefs. All right, I got 33-21 Chiefs.
Okay. I'm going to go out on a limb here. And I'm going to say
Chiefs win by
31-14 Chiefs. No, 31-14 Chiefs.
Okay.
They're going to keep their streak alive. They're going to keep continuing to keep people under 20 points for the most part. They've only allowed over 21 points twice this year.
Mm-hmm.
I say they're going to continue to do that.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's my score. Anybody got any in the chat before we wrap this thing up? What do you think, Philip? Thiz, what's your guys' score prediction? I know Thiz has got a score prediction. Dead silent. There it is. Wait a minute. New prediction. Chiefs 24, Chiefs 24, Packers 6.
2
Holy
field
shit.
goals.
2 field goals.
Dang,
Hey, that's
Phillip
not
going
bad.
to-
Not bad. I like it. I like
Man,
Thiz's
Philip,
too.
I don't know what. Yeah, Philip, I don't know what you've been drinking tonight. I want some. Jeez.
I like what he's drinking. I like that enthusiasm, man. I like it. Rice, leading receiver, 7
This,
catches,
30.
96 yards. Yeah,
We've got a wide
31-15.
receiver
This-
nearly breaking 100. We've got a running back, Dr. Pepper.
He said Dr. Pepper. I like it.
Mhm.
Thiz has got 31-15 Chiefs. That's a damn good score, too. So, I'm liking it.
Mhm.
I want the Chiefs to go on that 30 train again. I want them to.
Right.
And the reason it's not just because of the point. It's not because of the points. I want them to give the fucking defense a break. They need to rest those guys a little bit because come playoff time, we're really going to need that defense. And
Mhm.
gassing them out is not good, man. And they've been gassed out for up until last week. They were gassed. And they were gassed last week, but they played through it. They need the rest. And Chris Jones made very good point. He said, we're not used to this. They're not used to it.
I mean,
How
maybe
would
it
they
leaves
ever-
us in condition when they need it in the playoffs. Maybe it's going to help them get to reach that next year level that they'll need.
Could
Possibly.
be.
That's
Kansas
what
City
I
thinks
don't
they'll
think I
have
can
a
think of.
2-point conversion, a good 2-point conversion. They might. I mean, didn't somebody else get a 2-point conversion on us this year or not? Was that this year?
Not that
Didn't
I
the
can
Broncos get
remember.
one?
Was it the Broncos or
Probably.
was it the Lions?
I think it was the Broncos in the first
Maybe,
game.
yeah, maybe that's right. That's right. Yeah. So I mean, I can see it. Well, I don't know what else we got. Anybody got anything else?
That's all I got.
Covered everything.
That's all I got. Well, make sure you guys join in on Sunday on the PSF app. We're going to be doing some live game analysis. Probably get Boo Boo Smith back on the show and get his game analysis. So with that being said, download the damn app. Quit messing around. We'll talk to you guys on Sunday. Peace out, everybody.
See ya.